Hey, my name is RJ Gick, and I'm going to be talking about Edwin A. Link. He was actually the inventor of the flight simulator. He started it out in he was born and raised in Huntington, Indiana in 1904. So right after the first flight with the Wright brothers in July, he was born. And when he was very young, he got moved to Binghamton, New York, and his dad built organs, and he worked in the factory. And Link worked with him, and he became obsessed with tinkering. He loved the tools, he loved building, he loved creating things. And this further led him to a lifestyle of wanting to build things. And that got very involved when he had his first aviation experience. So now not only was he loved building things, but he also was now into flying, but he was not very happy with his first aviation experience. When he started out, he was kind of thrown down. He spent $50. He went and paid the money. He was excited for his first flight, and the instructor didn't even let him touch the controls. Which for us, that's normal. When we go up for our first flight, we go and we see everything, we watch everything goes. But back then, he didn't have the money for that, and that wasn't very appreciated by him. He really wanted to learn, so he put it in the back seat. He put less effort into it. He put less time into it, less money into it. He realized he wasn't going to be able to afford getting all of his aviation hours. Now, this led him to go on with his life for a little. He worked in the factories, and then he met a group of barnstormers, and he decided that he wanted to fly again with them. And so they taught him to fly. They got him all his hours, and this is when he decided he loved this. He wanted it to be his job. And so now he went from putting the aviation thing to the side to now he's kind of putting the tinkering thing to the side. He's not building anymore. He wants to fly. And he got the first Cessna that was ever delivered, and he continued to take up barnstorming, and he flew and did that, and he loved it. He spent all this time, he put his career. Then eventually he decided that he wanted others who were like him when he was younger, couldn't afford it. He wanted to be able to teach them how to fly, but it was very expensive. And this was the point where he put both of his loves together, and he decided to build this fuselage-like device, and he put flight controls in it. He put mock instruments in it, and he kind of pretended it was a plane and gave it the example of it'll act like a plane. And this was the very first time someone had thought of a flight simulator and gotten a plan for it. And he created in 1929, he created the Link Aeronautical Corporation and built his newly named pilot maker. It was, a lot of people called it, when it got to World War II, the blue box. It was the first built simulator that people were able to fly in. And then he really didn't have much success with it. He tried to sell it to schools. He tried to get students, but nobody really trusted it. Nobody think it would work except for amusement park owners. They thought it would be a cool ride for their park. So he wasn't very happy with that. But then around 1934, the Air Corps were having a rough time. Their pilots were all learning from ground training, and 10 of them had crashed recently and lost their lives. So the military realized that they needed a more effective training program. And especially during World War II, the Link trainer was used to teach guns, like bombs, every aspect of armed warfare with planes that you could think of. They used his trainer, his blue box, quote unquote, was the name of it, to teach. And they taught more than 500,000 people how to fly during World War II just with these. And these are my resources. These are 2 websites, and this is a book. Right here. It's really just a black book, but it explains the flight simulators and all their history. But there are still some of his planes or his simulators in accessibility today. There are a few museums you can go to, and you can actually see his first pilot maker, the Link pilot maker areas, and you can fly in them and test them out. But that is Edwin A. Link. He's not a very known man, but he invented the flight simulator, the first one, the first design and built.